Outer Orange.
Today, we're going to be going over set 10 of Shadowverse Evolved. Now, you might be thinking, why so early? Because after Worlds format, we are going into set 10 format, basically, and we obviously are always behind by almost a year, so we have early access to see decklists and all that kind of fun stuff to see what's going on, and you're seeing this video literally the day after Worlds. I purposely did that so that way I can have some Shadowverse content for you guys, as I'm currently discussing Worlds over on the other side of the planet. So I thought it'd be really cool to talk about the Gods of Arcana, which is the next set dropping. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, fam, here I am on Deck Sander as per usual. This is the set 10 format. This will be a Summerfest format, meaning during BSF Summerfest, this will be a legal format, and then we're going to be having Vanguard as well. So this is a pretty good, important format to start looking into, especially if you're trying to compete for teams. So definitely a really good format to start really digging your toes into. It's a really good format. I don't know if we're going to get a ban list prior with the Earthright getting a hit with Gingerbread or not, but if not, this is pretty much what it's going to be looking like. I do think there's more underground decks that'll probably be performing well than probably what meets the eye, because I feel set 9 is in a very similar bubble. Even though Dirt's insane, there's a lot of decks underneath it that are really good, but I will say I do think Dirt is still just the resource machine, the monster of the deck, and probably the best of the decks, just because of how much that deck resources. Might not really have like a finishing turn, and no, it can't like wide clear, like it's not a good wide clear deck, but everything else about the deck is absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and talk about what we got going on in set 10. Set 10 introduces like the new border cards. They're basically like these pretty cards with like borders around them. I don't watch the anime or anything like that, but I've been told that's basically like an anime set where it has like a bunch of cards from there. This is completely speculation. I don't watch the anime or anything like that, so this is just, I'm not 100% sure, but they look really cool. It's a very different looking set. So we're gonna go down the crafts and kind of see what's going on, starting off with combo. This is combo. This is basically this is puppets with the combo engine. By that, it means you still run the Anastasia, you still run the Sakuna, and you still run the 1-drop spells to kind of keep going, but we run the new like 2-drop. The new Upside Down card is a card that basically doesn't take damage. It's a really interesting card. Yeah, I'm assuming you want to play it because it just doesn't take damage. Also, combo 3 gets +1/+1, so this is probably played for that. And then the other card, which I do think is the better of the two, is the one where when it's on the field, it gets +1 and +1/+1 rush. It's an evolve card. And then also you can look at top 4, and you can basically put a 2-cost into your EX, and it's played for free. Now this is really where the insanity comes with this, but definitely this card. It's a little bit of a different version of combo. It has a little bit more early aggro. We basically took the fairy out from set 9. There's this really insane fairy. I kind of really like her. I almost don't know if it's worth taking her out because of how good she is, but in this list they chose not to run it. They focus on the Zoe. We're also running the neutral. This is the neutral from 2 sets ago, actually. This is the one where like from hand you can basically like kill something that's like a 5-cost or above. It's like basically like a hand trap that you can use. It's really good. I really like this card. I was very surprised to see a lot of us weren't running it, so yeah, this is something else to consider. Also, like I said, I'm a really big puppet enjoyer, so I actually really like puppets. I also think puppets is really good. I think the only deck puppets really struggles into is actually Dirt, but I actually think puppets has a lot of light. It deals with a lot of the crafts like really well, and it has such insane curve, and if you do open Anastasia into Dirt, they actually can't answer it fast enough. So there is, you can beat Dirt. It's just if they open broken and you don't open broken, it's almost an auto loss. You're crying. wait, that's one deck. Let's see, they have Hunter here, and then we have a Natura as well. Natura, I actually hear comes back into the format this set, especially since we're running this new 2-drop we're talking about, the one that gets like a little bit of rush and search, yeah, also this new 5-drop, and I read this 5-drop and it read really good. I don't know how it actually is in practice, but this guy says at the start of your end phase, if this card is in your EX area, deal 4 damage to all enemy leaders and all enemy followers on the field, that seems really good. And then on Fenrir, deal 10 damage to all enemy leaders and all enemy followers on the enemy field. So looks like that looks like his advanced form or whatever. This is like his fancy form. It's like this form that does that, and then like his regular form says that he chooses a follower in the field. If there's no other followers on your field, destroy it, draw a card. And on Fenrir, if your leader's 10 defense or less, you get 5 health back, and then you can activate for 10 PP. You can basically banish this card, and you may put the Zanka World from your evolve deck into the EX zone. So I'm guessing what you're doing is you play him, and then for 10 you take this card and put it in your EX zone or something like that. I don't know, some kind of weird funky stuff. But so this is Latika basically, and Latika was actually a pretty good deck going into last format, and it got a little overshadowed because obviously people were playing other decks. But basically I actually think this is like basically a board clear deck. Latica board clears. This actually does clear board quite a bit, and then you also have all the drawing, and now you have this new 2-drop that helps you search a little bit easier. So I feel there's definitely some room for this deck. You'll notice that there's actually quite a bit of these Natura decks. There's another one. This one was substitution, interesting enough, so that's also really cool. I'm seeing a lot of Finas, maybe just to deal with the bats or something like that. Bats is like really popular in GP from what you see, like based off like the lists and stuff like that. But unironically, I don't think it's as popular here. It's popular, but not as popular. I feel like people here are trying to experiment more. I've been seeing like 2-cost Abyss come out and all this kind of other stuff over like just the regular bat stuff, but who knows. So here's another list. This is a Latica with the Orcus combo, so this is kind of like a 2-in-1. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of smashing in the Orcus into this, but I can kind of see it because Orcus, her 10 mana play with her is pretty lethal. You get her out, you get the puppets, and you're kind of, you can do like a crazy amount of damage if your opponent just has a bunch of cards stood and have like no mana. But I do think her early curve isn't as crazy. If you've been a Natura player at all, I think you're going to be really excited to see that this deck is coming back. I do think there's a lot of room for this deck. I think it'll be performing really well. I like the combinations people are doing. As you can see, here's another with the Orcus. I guess the Orcus is like the way to go, maybe. This is another puppet list with the, oh, you got the cool looking girl. And again, this is very similar. We're running Fashionista in here instead of the other wasn't running it. Also have this new 7-drop. Let me see what this little guy is doing. He's really cute. I'll play him if he's good. Let's see what he does. All right, so the 7-drop has Storm on him, and he says when another beast follower comes into the field, he gets +2/+2. Then activate for 1 PP. Put this card from your hand into the EX zone, choose a card in your field and put it in the EX zone. It's interesting, kind of does a little swapping thing. So interesting. I don't know if it's worth playing it because it's a 4/4, but it becomes a 2/2. I guess if you have another beast follower, which I don't think this deck runs another beast follower. I don't think any of these are beast followers, but I think it's meant for the beast deck that we got as support in set 9. There's a beast deck in there with like this new like monkey thing. I think that's what this is meant for. Oh, we got a beast actually. Let me look at beast. So this is beast. Oh, they got a lot of new cards actually. Looks like they got this one. This one's from last time, but this one's definitely new. This one's new. This one's old. Is it running the monkey? It has 1 monkey. Okay, 1 monkey is in here. So it looks like we have a new 1-drop. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of new beast cards. I don't even know. So we have this little guy here. So when he's returned to hand, you heal 1 and then a Fenrir for 5. You can choose a follower in the enemy field. That player puts that follower on the bottom deck, you draw a card. That's really good. For 5 PP, basically it's a 6 mana play. You bomb deck anything. And bomb decking is pretty important in Shadowverse. I feel if your opponent can't directly search out the card, it's just gone for the rest of the game. She is a beast. She says when you play this card, if a beast follower with a different name as this card was returned from your field to hand, subtract 2 costs from this card. So basically, if you combo, you get the effect. And she also has an evolve for 2. And she has Storm on her, and then on Storm, she says choose a follower with the original cost of 3 or less in the field and put it into their hand. So basically, she's a bounce, just Storm, very interesting card, and she has an evolve for 2. So very interesting card there. This is an older card. We've seen this card before. I haven't tested this. Obviously, I have no idea what's going on in here. I know puppets. I don't know this, but this looks really cool. It also runs the Angel. I'm obsessed with this card. I don't know why. I just really like it. This Angel is just really good, and it's starting to show a lot of popularity in this set too. You will see more of this coming out here in a couple of these other crafts. Let's go into Sword. So Sword, Heroic got an actual new card, so you can actually play Heroic again. There's this new dude. I'll be honest with you, I haven't tested much about this. I'm aware that they just basically got some new support. There's a merchant deck you can try out now. It still runs Black and White and Lloyd in it, so you still run some old cards, but you just have a couple of new cards kind of being thrown in as well. It's still really aggressive early on, and then you play into this 4-drop, and let me see when in the world this 4-drop is doing. Let's find out together. So this 4-drop says you can evolve this card as long as this card's on the field. All royal tokens in your field have brush, and then Fenrir, he puts a steel clad knight into your field. And on evolve, as long as this card's on the field, again it has the same first effect, and then it says put a steel clad knight into your field. Give all steel clads on your field +1/+1. So it's really good. It basically means that you get all your tokens pretty easily on the board, and we all know how good this card is. This card is just absolutely insane. She's a 1/2/2, and she has that code. She also spawns tokens and all that stuff, so she's really good. So this kind of makes sense. I believe this card is also new, so let's also read about that lovely card and see what it's doing. She's a 1-drop, so that's really good. So she says at the start of your end phase, if there's a merchant follower with a different name as this card on your field, you can deal 2 damage to all enemy leaders, and then she chooses another royal follower on the field and gives it +1 attack, and they get direct attack. So that's interesting. I'm assuming that means Storm as well, or I'm not really too sure. I also have this girl. She's really pretty, so let's see what she does. So she says activate act this card, choose a follower in your on the enemy field. She basically says rest herself, deal 3 damage to it. If there's a merchant, deal 5 instead. So basically she's a little clearer, which is really good. You always want a way to clear, because oh my god, the amount of things that some cards do, it's insane. And here's another list for you guys to kind of check out here. Looks like we have the Idolmaster card coming back here. Rune obviously has Earthright, but let's see if they've actually changed anything. Also, chess comes out this set, so there might be some chess stuff as well that people are playing. So here's Rune Earthright. So it looks about the same with the exception of we have this new card right here. So let's see what in the world this card does. So translate it over. Choose one of your opponent's followers on the field, deal 2 damage to it. Earthright, deal 4 damage instead of draw cards. So that rate's pretty good. That sounds like a really good effect. That Mirror of Truth got Surdwin, or I call her Potion Girl. I really should stop calling her Potion Girl, but I just keep doing it anyway. This is Riley. From the looks of it, just looks like a really pretty Riley. I didn't even know she had like a pretty form of her, but this looks like Riley. It is Riley. Okay, just want to make sure that it looked like her, but I haven't seen that form of her yet, so I've always seen the regular form. So yeah, overall, otherwise you have the Searchers, Gingerbread, all the usual stuff, the Removers. This card, the one drop that's really good. It looks about the same as its like normal build. We just added like basically 1 additional spell. Let's look at another list here. This looks, yeah, there's the Riley. Looks like we are some people are trying out that 5-drop you were talking about earlier, and then we have this Golem Crater guy, and then yeah, there's that 1-drop again. But the list looks almost the same with the exception of a couple new changes. Let's look at chess real quick. Chess is run with Kuon. So here's Kuon, and basically you're running the new chess cards, and basically instead of running the Shinigami stuff, you're just running the chess pieces primarily. I think you still run the 1 Curse Crafter though, from the looks of it right here. Onion as well, so all the onions in the world. And then I assume this is about a similar build. Maybe there's a new card that looks like there is a new 1-drop in Rune. Let's see what that does. So this says at the start of your end phase, if this card is in the EX area, you draw 1 card, discard 1, and this card cannot be played from the EX zone. You add 2 life to your leader. If there's 0 of a card called Laika the Fool in your field, put this in the EX zone. So it's kind of like a weird card, but I don't know the full synergy of what you're supposed to do with this, but I guess you have to like synergize it with another card. Not 100% sure. I'm not a Rune expert. So we have Academy here. I actually think Academy is pretty decent. So this is Academy. I believe JP gets it a set later than us, weirdly enough. So they actually have like their own like little trial deck that comes out for us. For us, they actually put it into set 9, so we got it a little bit earlier than what you would expect. And Academy isn't like broken or anything like that, but it's not too bad either. It's kind of like right in the middle. It does a lot of clearing, but the curve is a little weird. So I don't think it's like insane. I just don't think it's bad either. This 1-drop's really good, but this, like I said, most of this is set 9 stuff for us. Physically for us, like this is from set 9, this is from set 9, this is all of this is set 9 with the exception of I think this card right here. I don't think this is a set 9 card, but that's basically everything else is like basically cards we have out already. Let's get Dragoncraft. So we have Overflow. They also have Duelist as well. They also, again, another trial deck card that has that. So this is running a little bit of the Duelist pack. Actually, it is the Duelist package, so it's running the 2-drop, the 3-drop. Yeah, this is Duelist with the Bane and everything, and then the Poseidon as well. Yeah, this is Duelist, but with the set 10 stuff. So they're running the 5-drop as well. They have Forte and then all that stuff. Basically, Duelist, you create a token, and that token eventually just gets like really huge. And then what happens is, as long as you don't have Execute, the token just stays there the whole game and just annoys you because it'll keep destroying cards. It's a very annoying token. If you weirdly enough, it does lose to Execute or like any form of banish or you killing a card that won't kill it off, because basically this card has the Russian Assail on it. But the issue with this card is that if it doesn't die, you can't create the token. It's the only thing that creates the token right now. So what you want to do is you want to smash this into something to let it die and create a token. But if you place like like something like Haven, you're never getting this to resolve, and basically this whole deck kind of falls apart without it. So it's kind of like the downside. But anyway, overall, I think Duelist is actually pretty interesting. I don't think it's broken or anything like that, but I do think it's like just right in the middle. We have another version here. This isn't Duelist. It's just regular with the Virga from last set, which is set 9 that we have here. And then we're running the Shenlong. We have this new neutral. This is not a card we've seen yet, so let's see what it's cooking. Ward on her, you can evolve for 3 on Fen Fairy, reveal a follower from hand, search for a follower the same name as the revealed follower from your deck and put it into your EX zone. Wild. And then on evolve, she says banish a follower from your graveyard, so search for up to 2 followers the same name as the banished follower from your deck and put in EX zone. Wild. What in the world? This is basically better Tartman. What? It's just better Tartman. So you can reveal something from hand and directly get another copy of it. That's insane. I'm assuming you just grab Vorte. I don't know. You can probably get the 5-drop too. You can grab a lot of options depending on what's in your hand. That's really good. You grab another Oracle if you want. That reads really good. There's also this Dragon card right here. It's a 3-drop. Let me read what this card does. First effect's like very simple. You just evolve for 1, and on evolve you discard a card, choose a follower on the enemy field, and you deal it 4. If you have an Arcana if you discard an Arcana card, you can also draw cards. So there's just a little bit of extra removal. We have Abysscraft. Abyss has the vampire stuff, obviously, so you just run the vampire package. It should be about the same. I actually don't see anything new in here. I don't see this deck really changing. It just runs the good cards that it has, and then you just play the same good cards that it has. It really doesn't change much. I'm seeing some people are trying to run Azazel again. I really like Azazel personally. I'm a big fan, but yeah, everything else is about the same. You still have the 7-drop, the 2s, the back creators. There really isn't. This isn't the kind of deck where you can really change it too much. I don't know if Abyss gets any new cards that really help it, but the issue with this deck is that it's kind of already, I feel like it's mainly solved. I think the only thing you can really add in is if you want just a different top heavy end, if you feel the meta changes between it being a little slower or not, so you can kind of get away with some top heavy. Control, I'm a big fan of Control. I definitely prefer it over Bats. I wanted to like Bats, but I just really don't. It's a little bit boring to play. So this Control, you're basically just running for the Ruin Eye here. You have a way to get it back. You got some discarding, board clear. Obviously this new 5-drop also does a lot of board clearing, so you can run him. We have a new 8-drop here. I do want to see if this 8-drop is meant for the Control aspect, so I'm gonna go find that 8-drop real quick here. So this 8-drop says you can evolve him for 1. On Fenfair, you can choose a follower on the enemy field, destroy it, deal 2 damage to its leader, and then you heal 2. And then on evolve, you choose that enemy opponent field, destroy it, and then you heal your opponent takes 2, you heal 2. So basically it kills 2 bodies, which is actually really good. So if there's something you're really scared of, you just drop this guy and then go, hey, yeah, kill everything. But so it's basically a 9-mana play total if you want to go for the full board clear for the 2. You also get to heal 4, and your opponent basically takes 4. So pretty interesting. I definitely see why it's in here. It's pretty useful. So there's that. Otherwise, everything's the same. Got the Nikolai, got the little Berry card, got some with the discarding going on. Odette for like a finisher. We're back to running the old Fox Girl in here. So definitely some interesting stuff. We have 2-cost Abyss. I think this deck's actually pretty good. It has some weird matchups where it doesn't do too well into, but overall it's not too bad of a deck. For the most part, you're kind of running, this one's running Bats. Oh, this isn't really, I wouldn't really say this is 2-cost Abyss. This is actually Bats, because they're running the Rose Queen in here. It's just because they're running the Rose Queen in here, but it's actually Bats. Now that I'm looking at it, it is a Bat deck. So let's go and see if there's the other one is more 2-cost focused. So this one is more 2-cost focused. This is actually running the Riley and all the other stuff. This is not running the Bats, and it's running the guy that lets you bury 5, and then it's running Maisha as well. I guess just like an additional finisher. Sometimes if people kill all your Rose Queens, you actually can't do anything. You actually get in a real stalemate situation. So I can understand the Maisha being played. It does lower the consistency of the altar plane here, but it's okay. I think that's fine. But overall, this looks exactly identical. I'm not going to go too much into this. These are all cards that already exist. You can just basically play it if you want. It's a really good board clear deck. You can basically just sit there, board clear, Maisha for game type of stuff. It's got a lot of discarding as well, and you have access to constantly keep spamming the same cards over and over again. So there's definitely a lot of room for this deck to shine. I think it's really good. It does have some weird matchups. Like a good example is actually Duelist. This deck does not do too well into Duelist, because Duelist will eventually keep nuking your Rose Queens once they get the token going, and you can't really stop the token because they'll swing it early, and then you'll have something on the field probably, and they'll just lose. You'll just lose over time. You lose the end game with into Duelist. So it's not the most ideal matchup, but it's like one of the few. Some other matchups are way more in your favor. Ghost comes back in for Abyss, so you can actually play Ghosts again. This is it gets like some new cards as for Ghosts. So I'm pretty sure this is the set that gets new Ghost cards. I'm pretty sure it is. It's running this card. This is interesting. This is meant for Necrocharge. So yeah, we got some Ghosts, and then we have Machina. This is the mono deck again. So this is mono version. I guess people just really started bringing back the Natura stuff, so maybe it has some room to breathe. I don't know. It's very interesting. I actually think this set introduces some good angel cards, so I think I'm a big angel fan, so you could probably start playing angels as well. Here's Nephus. What is Nephus? Oh wow, we're running the 7-drop. This 7-drop is kind of weird. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, I will not lie. But maybe with the new cards it's actually better, because this card's good, but it forces you to bury everything. It's weird. It finds you like all these good cards, but then you're forced to like remove them from the board. It's really weird. So I'm not the biggest fan of this card, but maybe there's something here with some of this new sauce. I'll have to try this out. I didn't know this was like its own deck. Let's go to Haven. Wow, I have 1 for Haven, which is just Machina. This is just old Machina with a new added card, so there's nothing too crazy going on in here. I wonder if it's better with I'm assuming it's better with a new added card, but I don't know if it's enough. And then we have no Uma, and it looks like we have a Idolmaster that made it through. Because we don't have enough Haven, I am going to show you guys a little bit more Haven. So one list I want to show you guys is the Fallen Angel deck. Basically, you can run Fallen Angels with your Haven build because it gets new cards, but there's this new 5-drop that comes out that's really good. It makes the deck significantly better because he just helps with your sustain a little bit more and just like setting up the board. So there's like this guy, and then also I wanted to show you guys some egg, because egg is still a thing. And actually I think egg gets better this set than it has in a little bit. So there's basically this new 1-drop you can run. It's this guy right here. He is just a little dude that does little dude things, but he says, once I can translate it to English because I can't read in Japanese, but basically he says on Fenfair you give him 2 and he gets +1/+1 and rush, so just a little bit of a beater. Now he's a 3/3, but you do have to basically, if you just don't have a good early play, you can just kind of drop him on like 3 mana and just go, hey, here's a 3/3 body. If you already like kind of rush them down a little bit, so you can kind of go down that route with this. I don't recommend running this. I'm not the biggest fan of this card, but it is a little bit of an extra board clear, so maybe it's not that bad. I don't know, this card clutters my hand a lot, but overall I can say it's about the same. You just have this new access to this new guy here that kind of really helps. So I'm trying to give you guys some more lists for Haven. I do have one more. This is actually a neutral list. It's a pure angel neutral deck, so all neutrals, all angels. And basically what you want to do is you want to go into this new 5-drop and the old 6-drop. The 6-drop lets you play a 5-drop from lets you play an angel from your hand, basically, so you can play something like Iserfil, but then you have to bounce it back to your hand at the end of turn. It's a little weird, but you can drop like Iserfil, board clear, and then bounce it back, basically. So you have kind of a few different approaches. It runs the banish card that I'm a big fan of, and then like I said, it runs this new 5-drop as well that's also really good. So you have a couple things going on with angels. I want to showcase that. I do want to show you guys a little bit more Haven since we didn't really get much of that. There's Stormward Haven, and then there's also Amulet Control. I don't think Amulet Control is very strong, but Stormward Haven isn't too bad. We do have a bunch of new Storm cards that came out, but this one actually doesn't look like a full Stormward Haven list. It actually looks more like a Machina list. Let me see if I can find another one that's a little bit more focused on the Stormward Haven approach. So here's one that is focused on that because it does run the Wilbert and stuff like that. So just something you guys can keep on the lookout for as you're going through. And I'll show you guys one Haven amulet list here just to kind of finish it off, so you guys, give you guys a little bit more a variety. So here is a Stormward Haven list. It's about the same, but it runs this spell. This is actually set 9 spell, but for some reason people weren't playing it as much in set 9. It's more popular in set 10. This basically lets you divide damage, but you can't play it on your turn. You can only play on your opponent's turn type of thing. So I like it. I'm a big fan. You'll notice they're running the new 5-drop as well. I think this is a really good card as well for going into New Haven, because it's basically another way to remove a clear board. And I will say this deck doesn't really have like a finisher. Once you're out of stuff, you're out of stuff. And I've noticed that this deck really struggles into like early aggro decks, obviously for obvious reasons, because you sit there and you're playing like amulets while your opponent's playing dudes, and it can be really rough for you. But I want to showcase this as well for you guys. Other than that, guys, I think that's everything I have for set 10 so far. I just kind of wanted to introduce what's going on in set 10 as we're getting into this format closer and closer. I think there's a lot of fun stuff going on, definitely a lot of really goodies. I've actually been really enjoying Shadowverse's recent metas. It's kind of crazy because Dirt is considered like the best of the best of the best, but even with Dirt being so strong, I feel like there's just so many awesome decks between it all that isn't just Dirt. There's a lot of fun stuff to play. At least for like my local experience, not everyone is playing Dirt. It's not just Dirt mirrors everywhere. Like there is other decks being played, so it kind of keeps it more interesting. I think if everyone's playing Dirt, I probably would be talking differently. Maybe at Worlds it'd be different. Obviously I'm recording this pre-Worlds, so I don't know how Worlds is going to be like. Maybe I'm just sitting there and casting mirrors all day. I don't know. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoy that. $50 CODE ORANGE if you need anything. Also, I have BCW supplies if you need any supplies or any storage boxes. Basically anything to save some money with Orange10 as well. So you guys have access to cards and access to storage through my codes. You can save money and get what you need, and it helps me and it helps the people who are also selling their products. So there's that. Other than that, guys, peace out. Das Vidano. See you guys in a future video. Bye.